And I believe we're live. What's up, guys? I hope you're all doing well. Back again on another Voxpro webinar. I hope you guys enjoyed the last one, and I hope you guys enjoy this one as well. For the guys that haven't, well, that didn't tune in last time, that missed out actually last time, I'm Mo. Most of most of you guys probably would know me from Dr. Vapes, and today I would like to talk about something something quite important. Actually, it's something that I think would actually play a part in the vape industry as a future. My subject today is how to keep the industry alive. Now, before I get into it, I just want to say big, massive shout out to Vapouround for hosting another amazing virtual expo, which is Voxpro, as you guys know. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed it as much as we have. And yeah, Vapouround, keep doing awesome things, just like you always do. Right, so let's get into it. Now, like I said, today my subject is how to keep the industry alive. Basically, obviously, as you guys could imagine, the industry consists of lots of different segments, lots of different parts, lots of different people, lots and lots of things, generally speaking. Now, I'm going to obviously not cover all of them, but I'm going to cover the ones that I find are quite important, the ones that I think, that I believe, ones that we really should sort of, touch up on. Now, I'll be talking about the supply chain as an overall, as well as things like innovation, things like communities, the health benefits, yeah, just those kind of subjects, and then obviously we'll do a little Q&A afterwards. So the first thing that I wanted to speak about was the supply chain. Now, what could we do as an industry to actually strengthen the entire supply chain? Now, the entire supply chain is actually really important, obviously, and that goes from the manufacturers of the raw materials to the manufacturers of the putting together the raw materials, and distributors, shops, web stores, consumers. Every single piece of it is important, and that definitely includes vape shops, aka the high street advocates. Now, the reason why I'm saying they are the high street advocates is because essentially vape shops are the result of all the hard work that we put together. The reason being is because they're actually at the forefront of the industry. They're the ones that directly interact with customers, and yeah, like they're literally the face, especially for people who have no clue about the industry or vaping as a concept. So they're essentially responsible for the sales, for the advocacy. So let's start off by giving them a round of applause. Awesome. Now, supporting the vape shops, I'd like to begin by personally telling you what we've done to support a supply, our own supply chain. Now, we recently worked, closely with our manufacturers in order to create more favorable pricing that will directly benefit the retail sector. we actually went and revised our pricing to be able to, you know, better distribute the challenge faced by everyone during these times. And, you know, that's something that's quick and easy to, you know, for any brand of any size to execute. And that's, yeah, I would definitely urge the brands to sort of think of it as a factor that's really, really important, you know, at the end of the day, because, you know, like having that sort of mindset will actually collectively grow the industry as collectively, you know, grow the industry, I would say. Now, supporting the vape shops is also, you know, like simply just informing them, you know, passing on information to vape shops, because vape shops actually, you know, like the information that they have in their hands, that's the information that they're going to pass on to consumers or new consumers. And then that information that they pass on, you know, it's essentially going to represent us as an industry. Because, like, let's say for instance, a brand new consumer walks into a smoker walks into a vape shop, wants to find out what it is that, you know, what vaping is as a concept, asks lots of questions. Now, those answers are obviously going to be what that person is going to take away with him when he leaves. And let's say he purchases a kit, a device, and he shows his friends and family. Now, when he shows this to his friends and family, they're going to ask him lots of questions like, oh, what is this? Isn't this bad for you? Or isn't this, or isn't that? Or just, you know, generally like, what is this? You know, why did you get into it? Or then those answers that he's going to, you know, bring through with the information that he's going to provide, those are the answers that, you know, essentially going to be influenced by the vape shop, because that's where he would have gained the information from himself. So having that said, as a vape shop, I would, the advice that I would give myself as a retailer is I would actually carefully select, you know, the brands that I work with. And the reason why is because, you know, like, you'd always want to work with brands who share the workload with you, who, you know, like, who provide you with lots of information, even regarding their products, regarding general benefits for vaping and stuff like that. Because once you have, let's say, a piece of kit, and you've got all the knowledge behind it. Now, let's say a consumer walks in and he's like, oh, do you know what? I've actually heard of device X. You know, I was thinking of purchasing it, but I'm not too sure. Now, if you had all the information regarding device X from the manufacturer, and the reason why I'm saying from the manufacturer, because obviously the manufacturer themselves would know the most about their own product. So they would actually, you know, give you like 100% super accurate answers. And then once you have that confidence in you, then you're confidently speaking to that consumer, and you're like, okay, you know what, this and that and the other is the features of this device. And yeah, then it just makes the whole entire sales process even easier and fast flowing. So that's why I would definitely, you know, carefully select who I would work with. And as I said, you know, like, vape shops are essentially what represents the industry, because from the information that they provide to consumers. Now, let's talk about innovation. So, I mean, does innovation even play a part in the growth of the industry, like, generally? And so, you know, like, I want to kind of just recap a little bit. And for you guys that have been vaping for or been in the vaping industry for many years, you guys must have remembered back in 2013, 14, thereabouts, where sub-ohm devices started coming about and started being introduced. And then suddenly, like, everyone was like, what is this piece of portable kit that you're actually able to take with you anywhere and blow a big fat, cloud out of? Like, what is that? And now obviously sub-ohm devices is an innovation in itself, and that that spark that it brought to everyone, that started wondering what this is and started researching and getting into it, and a lot of people started vaping from sub-ohm devices. That I would say is definitely one of the highlights of the industry itself, like, especially in the spike of it, in the growth of it, so I mean, yeah, like, in terms of the innovation of the industry and how it plays a part of the growth, like, innovation definitely plays a part of the growth of it. Like, if we tomorrow as an industry came up with a brand new concept, and that concept everyone started loving and stuff, boom, like, we're already gonna be able to target lots and lots of more different consumers, or even like smokers that let's say the current devices or the current options weren't really suitable with and stuff. Like, yeah, no, definitely. Now, another part of innovation, I would say, is everyone has a personality, whether you're a shop, whether you're a brand, whether you're a distributor. And I'd like to call that your superpower. Now, the reason why I want to call it that is because your personality is actually what's going to make you unique at the end of the day. And it's actually, like, you're going to basically, that personality is what you're going to use to talk to your audience across your digital platforms, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whether it's any digital presence really that you have. And it's basically what's going to make you stand out and be different from everyone. And it's what will engage you with your audience. It's what will actually create a genuine relationship between you and the consumer digitally. And that's going from whether you're talking to a consumer or whether you're talking to a shop, or and the brands that I actually see do this best have actually got a genuine connection with their audience, and they understand their tone really well, and like, and it doesn't actually always have to be like running a really expensive campaign or creating amazing artwork, or it doesn't have to be that always. I mean, it can simply, it just simply needs to be like, you need to know what it is you're about to say and why it is you're saying it. Those are the things that actually create. Answering those questions is what would actually, create the personality behind the brand. Now, another innovation that I really want to touch up on is actually Voxpro. Voxpro is such a great platform for the industry to get the industry together. Although like, the first thing that COVID brought in was, or the first thing that COVID took out was the entire gathering, the entire like, expos are now, we can't do expos anymore and things like that. So Voxpro is one of those things that is one of those innovational ideas that we always need to be active on. So special shout out once again to Vapouround for staying creative and bringing us Voxpro on this occasion. And yeah, like, in terms of innovation, personally, I believe it's like you know, one of the key things that plays a role in the growth of our industry. Now, in terms of communities, so how do communities actually better service our industry? Now, you know, like there's a community of people out there, and you know, the communities consist of individuals who share the same passion, interest, and have enthusiasm in what we do. You know, which is the concept of vaping. So the community that we're all in, by the way, is actually what, you know, keeps the industry going. It's what fuels the industry, I would say, to put it in the easiest way. So the reason why I'm actually touching up on communities, because at the end of the day, it's the communities that are gonna influence new consumers to jump on board into the industry, to educate consumers, or not just consumers, like everyone, generally. um, and it's the community that makes this entire concept that we're all passionate about fun for everyone, you know. And why I'm saying, like, the way we can actually improve on communities is like, it definitely be super great to, let's call it, talk the same language. Now, let's say, for instance, like COVID is now kicked in, and you know, like as an industry, like what is the language that we're speaking? What are the protocols? What are those things that we've all agreed on and all executing? Like things like that, you know, like where we're all speaking the same language and where we're all basically passing on the same information. Um, and I think, like on top of my head, I can already think of companies that can actually make this happen. You know, companies that's quite really connected with the industry. Those companies, like they would, if they had sort of like a platform to make the industry all have that same message, that would literally create like a massive strength to the industry itself. That's one of those things where I was like, when you sit down and you're like, okay, what's that one thing that I wish the industry had? Now, in terms of the last point that I wanted to touch up on was the health benefits. Now, obviously, there are a lot of you know, health benefits when you become a non-smoker using the vape concept, and it's actually one of the key things that has helped us build in our success. And it's our belief and our duty to educate our customers while selling products, but it's, you know, like the actual, you know, like, let's actually just pause for a minute and come back to the reason why we're all in this, you know, and then continue doing what we're doing. You know, it's like, look, guys, we're all here, and the reason why we've all started is to actually make a direct positive impact to people's health. Now, personally, I remember actually when I my first ever customer who I served, and they told me that they successfully quit smoking, and the way they were happy and the happiness it brought me, like it was really something that sparked, you know, like my sense of duty till this day, you know, like of making people stop smoking. And it's actually also developed one of my life goals of making 1 million people stop smoking one day. hopefully it happens. I'm still on that mission, and yeah, it's looking good so far. So we're in 2020, nearly 2021. There is, technology's is at its peak at the moment. Like, we've never had better technology than today. And meaning, like pretty much anything is possible. And that also goes for information, like any information you want to know, it's out there, it's available. It's like in terms of like testing, in terms of yeah, like just any information you would seek is literally out there and available. Now we like we need to actually use that to our advantage. And I'm not saying we're not, but I would love to see it happen more often, where, like, just imagine if we all collectively as an industry just decided, you know what, for a solid month, we're gonna discuss the health benefits of being a non-smoker and how vaping can actually help you come off smoking. And we all did that for a month, and then all of a sudden it's brought in like 1 million more consumers into the industry. Now, how much stronger will the industry actually be from just sharing health benefits, from sharing information that's already out there? And of course, it's got to be by credible resources and stuff. But yeah, that's out there as well. So yeah, guys, it's like, this basically sums up the sort of like sectors that I wanted to talk about, that I personally believe would directly sort of strengthen the industry. And I'd love to hear you guys' you guys' take on it. So let's get into the Q&A side of things, and let's hear you guys out on any of the points that I spoke about, and see what you guys think. Now I can see some questions already. So from John Goodwin, your branding is on point. It's not over the top. It keeps your attention. Thank you very much, John. We do try our best. Now, anonymous attendee says, I love the drip tank, by the way. Anything new like that in the pipeline? We're in the works. We're in the works of evolving the whole drip concept. So the answer is ultimately yes. Mo, I hear your rap is legendary. Will we get to hear a sample? Actually, the song is on YouTube. If you just search Dr. Vapes, it will come up. It's called In the Clouds. So yeah, check it out. And Marcus, just to add, there might be a little new something from the music side of things very soon. So stay tuned. Penny says, what would you say your secret is to your success? There isn't really a secret, Penny, if I'm honest. It's like my, let's call it the reason of, my success up until now, is my passion for vaping. Is something that I absolutely love. Like, I love the concept. I love everything about it. And every time I'm doing something to do with vaping, it's like, it doesn't even feel like work. It's just, I'm just doing something that I love. And the consistency, of course, like, you've just got to be super consistent. Those two things, having those two things, I would say, is not even other tools for success, let's call it. John Goodwin, hello again. My first sub-ohm kit was a Kangatech Subvox Mini. It was good, but boy, it did leak. Do you know what? That's actually the when I said earlier, back in the day where where sub-ohms started blowing up. like Kangatech Subbox was everything, like literally everything. Oh my God, boy, I went through so many of those, and I actually probably sold like, I don't know, like at least 100 of those myself. So yeah, man, Subbox Mini, legendary device. John Goodwin, I work in a vape shop, and there's nothing better than going on a vaping journey with someone who's quitting smoking. I have made many friends, and it makes me feel good that I have helped them extend their life, as that is why I started vaping, and it has been the best decision I've ever made. John, that is literally what it's all about. Keep it up, champ. Keep it up. Patrick Griffin, I agree that vape shops are the best representative of the industry. How do you feel that they are locked, that they're all closed again in our second COVID lockdown? To be honest, Patrick, I think like it may sound biased, and if it does, it is what it is. But I actually think vape shops are actually essential. You know, especially due to COVID. Like COVID is actually a virus that directly attacks your breathing, and as we all know, smoking, like it really attacks your lungs, and it deteriorates breathing. And it's a product that like it's a product that's needed by people. People don't vape because they want to vape. People vape because they need to vape to stay off smoking. So when it becomes a need, then it's also essential, I would say. So how do I feel about them being closed again in our second COVID lockdown? I feel that it's like completely wrong. I would say I actually also tried to start a petition on the government website, but this was in the first lockdown, but I didn't hear back from them, unfortunately. So yeah. Callum, working in the retail side in Manchester, we find a lot of customers going towards wholesale, as there's nothing stopping you going in and buying cheap of them. This needs stopping, and it being a full chain like a corner shop, and we don't actually have much contact with the rest of the industry unless we go out and look for it. I found, well, Callum, I'm totally agree. Like wholesalers aren't actually supposed to be serving retail customers. That's why we have wholesale and retail. Otherwise, obviously wholesale, they've got the products there, but that's not their speciality. Their speciality is actually their duty in the real world is realistically is basically to make sure that the products are always there for the shops, and the knowledge behind the product as well. So like if I'm, for instance, distributing product A, or let's say if I'm distributing this product here, my duty isn't just to distribute the product. My duty is to distribute the product and all the knowledge behind it, like all the information behind it, everything that the manufacturers told me, because my duty as a distributor is just to make it easier for shops to pick up products. Yeah, no, I'm totally with you, Callum. I definitely think that it isn't right. I hope I'm doing this correctly. Okay, I'm gonna try. So we have anonymous attendee saying, where do you see Dr. Vapes heading next? Now, where do I see Dr. Vapes heading next? We've actually got a lot of cool things going at the moment, where we've got a lot of awesome products that we're working on. We've got a lot of awesome campaigns that we've planned. And where do I see it next? I definitely see it growing as it has for the past since we ever started. And yeah, that's where we're gonna head next. We're gonna head upwards. John Goodwin again. Yes, John. Hi Mo, love Purple Panther. What would you have done if vaping wasn't around? If vaping wasn't around, I mean, I was into music before. I still am in a way, probably into music. I do have love for cars, personally. Um, but it's, to be honest, for the past 4 5 years, 5 years actually, I've actually not even imagined what I would do without vaping. So, but probably to do with music, probably. Pete, do you think vape products companies should be allowed to market to consumers, as vaping is now established as a way out of combustible cigs, as patches and gum is allowed to market direct to consumers via mainstream TV? Via mainstream TV is a bit tricky because you obviously don't want to, you obviously want to target smokers, but you don't want to target kids, you know? So, having that said, obviously, you know, if it was regulated and if there was, you know, set rules, set, you know, like legislation really for advertising vape products on mainstream TV, where, for instance, you know, like the adverts only are played after 9 p.m. and things like that, then yeah, by all means, why not? Definitely. Um, Glad to have you back, Mo. I'm glad to be back too, and hopefully we'll be back and back again and again. Yesterday, so from Marcus Langmaid, yesterday we heard from Nick Orlando at Florida Smoke Free Association, who was discussing flavor bans over in the US. What are your thoughts on politicians setting laws without doing adequate research into the industry, whether it be in the US or the UK? Actually, Marcus, that was what my previous subject, that's what it was about. It's yeah, it's a total mess, is the best way to put it, if I'm honest. It's not something that I agree with, definitely not, because at the end of the day, if you ask, you know, majority of vapors, how they quit and why, and you know what helped them, flavors definitely play a huge part into quitting. I mean, personally, I probably wouldn't even have been into vaping if it wasn't for flavors. Like, it's the whole sort of like, I'm quitting something, but I'm actually entering something that I can enjoy, that I can explore, that, you know, keeps me going, you know. Yeah, like I totally don't agree with the way that politicians go about it. But that's, but then there's like I said in my past webinar, like, it's not just to do with the with how flavors are targeting kids, because vaping is obviously also you know, allowed and regulated in the UK, where there's kids here as well. But obviously, yeah, in the UK, obviously there isn't much of a monetary benefit to the government from tobacco generally, as there is in the US, and that definitely plays a role in the politicians' decisions. Love the name Dr. Vapes. Can I ask where the inspiration for that came from, Helen? Helen, it's basically when I first started out, I was basically working at a vape shop, and I was also basically, you know, that's when I also started creating flavors in my spare time and stuff. And then eventually, you know, people wanted to buy my flavors and things like that. So I once walked into a house. It was, well, they're my friends now. So they basically, every time I used to come around, they would call me the doctor. It's like, they'd be like, oh, we're in need, you're the doctor. And, you know, so the whole doctor sort of thing came from that. That was the inspiration, actually. Paul is saying, and finally, what was it like having Professor Green warming up for you for the Vapor Expo? Having Professor Green, actually, well, I don't know if he was warming up. It was like just separate performances, but it was intense, man. It was like, you know, it was, other than that, it was exciting. Like, it was something that I really loved. Like, I really enjoy being on stage, and I can't wait. I can't wait. Actually, give you guys a little teaser of the upcoming song. Okay. How do I pause this now? The song is coming out in a few days, so let's leave it as that. Right. So where we at? What do you see coming for the future of vaping, the vaping industry, Haley Parker? Haley, there's actually an awesome artificial intelligence software that I saw the other day, which is basically one that helps people stop smoking. And man, if that concept gets executed the perfect way, like the future of vaping industry will look brighter than it is looking today. So yeah. So where do you see the brand in 5 years? In 5 years, yeah, it'll definitely be, you know, like off the top brands in the industry. Would be like offering not just the products that we offer now, like would definitely have a lot more solutions and a lot more different services that we have today. That's our aim. Now, in terms of what they are, you'll know in 5 years. Right, anonymous attendee, do you think vape shops will be allowed to open if we have another lockdown? How can we keep momentum with staff that are furloughed? Do I think that they would be allowed to open if we have another lockdown? Realistically, not really, because they haven't been open for the past 2 lockdowns. However, if a miracle does, you know, happen, and the government actually realizes how essential and vital vaping is, then hopefully, yeah, hopefully. What do you think Hope 2021 will have in store for the vaping industry? Man, I want to see a trailer of 2021 before I can even answer this. Like, honestly, 2020 was like, we had amazing, you know, plans, and I guess everyone else did. And yeah, like February come and like everything just went crazy. So in terms of 2021, you know, fingers crossed. I mean, now that they are talking about a vaccine and stuff, if it does go smooth, and you know, COVID decides to leave us alone, then yeah, like I would say the vaping industry would definitely, you know, spike up again with everyone getting together, and all the innovation, and everyone, you know, I guess everyone's still been busy during this year, these lockdowns and stuff. So I mean, we certainly have. So 2021 will definitely have awesome things in store for the vaping industry. I agree that they're essential. Closing them encourages vapors to return to smoking, and we can't let this happen. Exactly, Patrick. That's exactly my point. Any idea where in Ireland your juice is available? It's available in Total Vapor, or you can just go on our website. It's entirely up to you. What do you think about the role of big tobacco in the vaping industry? Paul, if Voxpro still allows you to actually watch previous webinars, then you'll hear all about it, because that's a huge question. And if I was to answer that, would basically have another webinar right now. But okay, sorry, just to give you sort of like a quick answer on your question. I mean, they're part of it at the moment. Like, you know, you see sort of like Vape, Blue and Jewel and all these sort of mainstream companies. They're all actually big tobacco owned. So you know, it's obviously there, you know, like it's not the most, the vaping hasn't been the most positive impact on the big tobacco industry. So yeah, in America, let's just put it this way, in America they have a lot more influence. So you can see with all these regulations and, you know, proposed flavor bans and stuff, that's what the big tobacco plays a role in the vaping industry. And are you looking forward to the awards, and do you think you've won anything? Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I'm like so excited for them. We're actually gonna all get together, like the Dr. Vapes team, and we're gonna watch it. And oh my god, I've had butterflies in my stomach all week for the awards. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. We have worked hard, you know, for the past year. So do you think, I don't know, but hopefully. Patrick Griffin, are you looking forward to the Vapouround Awards? Hell yeah, definitely. And yeah, it's very, very soon, the awards, 7 p.m, guys. Make sure you tune in. Definitely, definitely. Hell yeah. Love to hear your views on non-vapors, given the vaping community so much grief. I mean, like they're probably, this is what I was saying earlier, you know, the more information we spread out there, the less we'll have of that, you know, like the more educated people would have, and the more facts we're gonna be able to all share. So that's my views, is like like the best way to answer that is the actual is by facts, because facts are facts. Whoop, whoop, here we go. Whoop, whoop, here we go. I think you should ask Professor Green to do a tune with you. We'll see. Love the new song. Can we expect an album soon? I did say in one of the interviews that probably work on an album. So got the next song coming up, and another one written up. So we'll see. Probably, yeah. Awesome. That basically concludes all the questions that we had. Yeah, I believe it does. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this this webinar. I certainly did. Once again, shout out to Vapouround for hosting the Voxpro platform once again. And thank you for having me, man. Take care, guys.